Mr. Transformers 96 here with a video, and we talk about some things I'd like to be shown at San Diego Comic-Con 2019 this year. So this is kind of like a series of videos that I'm going to be doing. I've got at least 4 planned, where I'm just going to be talking about what I hope to be shown at San Diego Comic-Con from each company, and this time I'm going to be talking about Hasbro's Transformers Studio series as a company. So in these, they're sort of like my dream list that I do of like the dream things to be shown. However, there's a lot more reality taken into account with these as what I think could be shown realistically as well. So I'm not just shooting for the moon here. I do have some realistic, estimates and hopes as well. I'm not just, what I would love to see in general. There is, of course, what I personally would love to see myself, but I do take account what is like possible to be shown and what's likely to be shown. So that's this. So that's what this is. So it's kind of it's a combination of what I hope to be shown and what I think is likely to be shown. That's what this list is. And it's going to be a top 3. I think for the majority of these, if not all of them, I'm going to do top 3. So I will be doing one for Sideshow, Hot Toys, and Marvel Legends for sure. And I'll think about it. I might do a couple other series. But for now, those are the 4 big ones that I'm going to be doing. So let's get started in my top 3 figures that I hope and think could be shown at this year's San Diego Comic-Con for Transformers Studio Series. At number 3, I have Soundwave from Bumblebee. So now this is a figure that I would definitely like to be, that I definitely would like to see. I hope that they start doing a few more of the Cybertron style designs for the Bumblebee movie. We obviously have Optimus Prime, which is a great figure, and there's on all of like the rumored lists and the lists that are supposed to be the next Studio Series figures to be shown, Soundwave seems to be on all those lists. I've seen his name thrown around a million times, not just on fan lists, but on the rumored lists. So I do think that there's a very good chance that Soundwave will be shown, considering most of the rumor lists seem to be accurate. They really do. So I do think that we will be getting a Soundwave figure, and I think that this would be a good time to show him, just because he's been on those lists for so long. I feel like he definitely should be shown soon. So I am definitely excited to see that. What I'll be interested to see, though, is what he transforms into. If he actually does transform into a boombox or some sort of vehicle, like the Fall of Cybertron Soundwave. I believe he transforms into like a vehicle type of design. It wouldn't really work if he transforms into a cassette player, considering he's on Cybertron, so there shouldn't be cassette players. However, he clearly shoots out cassettes from his chest, so maybe he'll be some sort of Cybertronian dispenser type of thing. It could be cool. They have like kind of free range as to what he transforms into, which I would assume would make the robot figure a lot better, because they could really focus on just making the robot accurate and then just kind of coming up with what he transforms into, rather than making both the designs accurate, since one of them doesn't have to be accurate. So that will be quite nice. Now my second choice, this is a little bit more on my dream list. I have no reason to believe that this will be shown, like specifically, other than the fact that I know that a lot of people want it, and it's something that I think that they will probably do eventually. However, he's not been rumored or anything like that. So this is more of just like what I'm hoping for. We have Shockwave here, a Leader Series figure. I kind of put together like a little mock-up of what it could look like in package there in the center there. Actually, I kind of had fun doing that. It took me a while, but it was kind of fun. But yeah, overall, Shockwave is one of my favorite Transformers from the movies, mainly look-wise. I was always a little disappointed in what he actually did in the movie, but his look was fantastic in my opinion, and I've always, I love Shockwave and his merchandise. The Shockwave figure that was released for Dark of the Moon was fine for the time, it certainly was, but I always had issues with it. It was always a very flat figure, and is obviously a Voyager class, which is kind of out of scale. I think that a Leader class is definitely the scale that we all want to see Shockwave in, and get one that's a little more accurate, that's a little bit more bulky, which is nice. And again, just like that Soundwave figure, he doesn't transform in the movie, so they can kind of do what they want with the transformation. They can make the robot a little bit more accurate, and then just come up with something that he transforms into, rather than trying to make both modes accurate. So this would be a figure that I'm really hoping to get. I think it's a pretty no-brainer figure that I think that they'll end up doing, but I certainly hope that it's soon. I don't want to wait a super long time for him, but I would love to see a Leader class Shockwave figure shown at San Diego Comic-Con. And then my number 1 choice, this would be honestly what I'm excited to see, and what I believe will be shown, at least some of them, would be the last Constructicons. So we have half of the Constructicons shown at the moment, and most of them are on pre-order or already out, and The other half, of course, need to be shown still, and they have announced that they're doing them. We even have some tentative release dates for them as well, but we haven't seen the actual figures yet. So I'll be very excited to see these, which is Scavenger, sorry, I want to say Overlord, but it's not Overload, Scrapper, and Mixmaster. The four Constructicons that have not been shown. We have Hightower, Scrap Metal, Rampage, and Lawn Haul already shown. Some of them already out. So it will be nice to see the last four and maybe get a painted prototype of Devastator, because they have shown the prototype before, but it was unpainted. So it would be nice to see a painted version of that figure. That's going to be super cool. Unfortunately, it looks like it won't be until the end of next year before we all get to complete Devastator. However, I am very excited for the line as a whole. I'm a big Constructicon fan. Love them. Love the designs for them, at least in Revenge of the Fallen, and I'm very excited to get some of these. Mixmaster is my favorite Constructicon, so I'm excited to see a new version of the Mixmaster figure. And then, of course, we've never had figures for Overload or Scrapper before, so it'll be really nice to get figures for them, especially Scrapper, since he was a character that transformed in the movie, and we actually saw him a few times in the end fight, and we even see him in Dark of the Moon too, so he would just be a nice one to get. Overload is not one that I'm particularly interested in, to be honest. I think that it'll be interesting because they'll have freedom to kind of design them however they want, for the most part, because he didn't like show up in the film, so I'm sure they're just going to kind of go off of this concept art, kind of really the only concept art that we have for this character. So it'll be interesting to see how he transforms and how he looks, but overall very much looking forward to Scrapper and Mixmaster, and then Scavenger would be cool as well. We already have a figure of him, and it's a pretty decent figure, to be honest, but it's not in a great scale, so this would definitely scale him up and make him a little bit cooler in that regard. But I'm very excited for all of these. I definitely think at least 2 of these will be shown. I really do believe that. I think that there's a possibility they'll show them all, but I think that there's a good chance that they'll show at least 2, and I would assume, I believe the last ones to come out are supposed to be Scavenger and Mixmaster, I want to say, or maybe Scrapper, I can't remember. 2 of them are slated for the beginning of 2020, and 2 of them are slated for the end of 2020. So I would imagine the 2 that are slated for the beginning of 2020 will be the 2 that are shown, if not all of them. It would be certainly cool if they had a big display of all the Constructicons with a painted Devastator on top of them. That would be really neat. I am actually buying 2 of all of the Constructicon figures. The 2 that are out right now, Rampage and Scrap Metal, I do have 2 of, and I have one transformed into the Limb and then one transformed into the robot mode. I want to do that for all of these. It'll get a bit pricey, of course, but I think it's worth it to have a set of Constructicons and a set of and Devastator himself. I can't see myself choosing between the Constructicons themselves or Devastator. I'm definitely going to need one in each look. I certainly don't need the constructing vehicle though, so I won't be buying 3. But yeah, overall, that's my number 1 choice of what I'd like to see at San Diego Comic-Con for Transformers Studio Series. And this one I think is very believable, very possible. I think for sure we'll see at least 2 of these, like I've said. And then my second choice would have to be Shockwave. I have no reason to believe that this would be the time that they'd show Shockwave. Nonetheless, I do want to see him. And then number 3 would be Soundwave. And again, I've seen his name thrown around so much that I think that we will be getting a figure of him soon. And therefore, I think there's a fair chance that we'll see him at this year's Comic-Con. So yeah, so that's my top 3 kind of most anticipated things to be shown at San Diego Comic-Con from the Transformers Studio Series line. I think that it's very possible. I mean, who knows, we could see all of them. I doubt it though. I think that there's, again, a really good chance that we'll see at least like 3 of these, I would say. So yeah, there's my thoughts and my hopes for what will be shown at San Diego Comic-Con for the Studio Series. Let me know what you guys think of my choices, as well as I'd love to hear what you guys would like to see from this line at San Diego Comic-Con this year as well. And thanks so much for watching.